Okay. Um. All right. So this is going to be a new style of video that I'm doing now. I'm going to consider this like a mini, half-assed critique of up and coming YouTuber known as How To Man. No disrespect towards the guy or anything like that. Um, I'm going to say this before I even get into the meat and bones of this video. How To Man in general, when it comes to him talking about race issues and being black in America, I say he has a pretty good head on his shoulders, and for the most part, he's very incredibly, and he's really insightful, like very, very insightful. He makes me think about certain things when it comes to the topic of race and being a nigga. That said, though, in his first video he put out, it's got like 302 views by now. I watched it already, and I have some thoughts, and I want to give my thoughts. So, yeah. With that said, I'm going to be diving headfirst right into this and breaking my skull against the concrete floor of the pool that was not filled with water. How sad. Anyway, all right, let's keep on going. Let's go.
Wow, what's happening? Welcome to How to Man, your source for everything manly. And today we're going to be discussing what it means to be a man in 2021.
All right, hit me with it. Come on, bro. Let's do
it. Yes, sir.
All right, the audio contrast is strong with that one. I don't know. Maybe his mic wasn't working at the time or something, because, like, I don't know. In the next video, his mic was working fucking perfectly. All right, I'm going to shut up about it now. Let's go.
You already know we about to rock like cocaine and Arm & Hammer. But hey, before I get into this
cocaine, rock like cocaine and Arm & Hammer. Not gonna lie, that's good. Good. Bars. First 28 seconds, dropping bars. All right, let's go. Come on. Let's keep it consistent. Hit me with the bars.
It costs you nothing, and you was probably really, really small, but the meat is major to mean the world, I promise. So with that out of the way, I think it's only right that I start this topic off by discussing why the idea of what it means to be a man has come under fire and prize there, right?
Oh yeah, I'm thoroughly surprised.
Just like to point out, I'm not a misogynist, and I'm also not a homophobe or a transphobe or whatever other phobes you guys got out there. I ain't none of that shit. Let me go on.
All right, I believe you. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I 100% believe you when you say that. The only reason I do believe you when I say that is because I used to think exactly like you. Like back then, like almost like a couple years ago, for the most part, I had a very liberal or libertarian mindset on things. It's like like, I don't have a problem with gay people. I only have a problem with trans people. But internally, I thought they were kind of like bad. Well, I never ever had a problem with homosexuality, period. It was just trans stuff that I personally had like a bit of an issue with. So, yeah. And, you know, the fact that I can project that I know this and I used to think like this, I can see some of that shit in him. I can see that in you, man, dude. I was like that. So when you say you're not a misogynist or you're not a homophobe or something like stuff like that, I believe you because I was you.
Get that clear right now, up front. Not none of that. Don't have a problem with women. I love women. I love my mama. I love my old lady.
So do I. So do I. Who doesn't?
And I know you know what I'm saying.
Wait, I don't have daughters. Never mind.
Right saying, same thing. Like, I have a black friend. It's not one of them. Though.
Fucking love it. Yeah, dude, I have trans friends, but I don't fucking like trainees. God, can I say that? Can I say trans friends? I thoroughly apologize to all three of you. No disrespect. Whatever. All right, let's go.
I genuinely like women. I genuinely hope for the best for women. I also have no
Based.
problem with anyone that's homosexual,
Based.
Transgender,
Based.
any of that other stuff out there, man. Hey, it's free world.
Beast.
You do whatever makes you happy, man. More power to you. Right.
It's America.
All that said, where I do draw the line,
Pursuit of happiness
is whenever what it is that you have going on starts to infringe on things that I don't feel should be infringed on. Things.
All right. So when you say that, you have to prove to me that these things are being infringed on, like legitimately being infringed on. And I'm not talking about like a Twitter hate, Twitter mobs, or just some stupid shit, because Twitter is not a real place at all. So we're gonna throw that shit out the window, because stuff like that is meaningless. Now, when they start to have, like, maybe there's a societal attack on manliness, which I still don't think is the case. But more on that later. We'll get to that.
That are harmless in nature to virtually everyone, but a specific demographic seems to have some tiny problem that they can barely make a claim as to why they have a problem with this.
The Twitter mobs, like I mentioned,
we go changing for them.
They're nothing.
I don't get this shit.
Don't listen to them. Only people that listen to them is Hollywood. Don't fuck Hollywood. Who gives a shit about Hollywood?
Anyway, I digress. So, before I go on to the second issue, reason why masculinity has been shrouded in ambiguity.
Wait. That was your reason for how masculinity is being infringed on? That didn't really sound like anything. You were just saying stuff.
I digress. So, before I go on to the second,
wait. Go on.
On things that I don't feel should be infringed on, things that are harmless in nature to virtually everyone, but a specific demographic seems to have some tiny problem that they can barely make a claim as to why they have a problem with this, right? And suddenly we go changing for them.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. That was your first reason, is basically Twitter lunatics. That was it. Yeah, like I said, nobody listens to them except for Hollywood, and fuck Hollywood. Hollywood can fucking burn itself to the ground, into ash and nothingness, into obscurity. Fucking irrelevant piece of shit. Fuck Hollywood.
We bend the knee to all these groups, and black people still ain't got reparations. Somebody make this shit make sense.
True, though. Actually, you know what? True. Facts. Where the fuck is our reparations at? Yeah, I already know where it is. It's never gonna happen. I'm not holding my breath for reparations at all. I would like it. It would be nice, but we're like we're hoping for fucking pigs to fly.
Anyway, I digress. So, before I go on to the second issue, reason why masculinity is
let's go. Come on.
Shrouded in ambiguity as of late, I believe I'll go ahead and address those first two parties. See, the feminist movement really came to prominence, I'd say some people could argue, in the 1960s. Of course, you had the feminist movement all the way back in the 1920s with the advent of things like the flappers and things of that.
Flappers are based. I googled flappers too. That shit's fucking... Dude, we need to bring that style back. That shit is fucking like... When we talk about drip, Google flappers, that is some serious drip right there. That is some fucking cold-ass female drip right there. That shit looks cool as fuck. Cute as fuck and pretty as fuck, and just, it's... Bro, flappers fashion, awesome. Amazing. Flappers.
But it continued. You got women's suffrage in the 60s, right? In the
Yeah.
70s, you still had a push for more women's rights, which they
Okay.
did eventually attain, right?
Yeah.
Past that, in
For
the
the most
70s,
part, yeah.
you also had the advent of this thing called Cosmo, right? Very popular magazine at the time and media outlet, right?
Hold up. I googled flappers, but I didn't Google Cosmo. Holy shit. The fuck? I'm so uneducated. It's alright. We can't all know everything, can we? It's still going on, isn't it? I just haven't heard about it very much. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, the fact that it's still going on. Let's see. 60s? No. Uh, yeah, let's say 60s. For the most part, I think it's like just fashion shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is fine. Yeah, it's good. Good shit.
And they started to kind of pervert
I
the
had a feeling
idea
that's what it was. It
of
was
what
just trying to,
gayness
make
was
sure.
really predicated on. And, they discussed a lot of things and really led to a major change, a major perversion in what it meant to be a woman or what women at the time were fighting for, right? And now you have, just utter thottery, where
Thottery.
that's a product.
Thottery. Um, I'll get into that a little bit
Of that
in a
advent,
minute.
right? That's a direct product of that advent, right? And all it really is sluttery of the highest caliber being masqueraded as some type of sexual freedom or liberation or a women can do whatever men do, right? And that's BS.
Okay. Um, I gotta make this point. When he talks about sluttery and like women doing whatever men can do, it's like, okay, there's really nothing wrong with sexual deviancy at all. It hurts nobody. I do have a problem with people wilding out though, where they have like fucking like 300 sexual partners, because that shit kind of opens the door to STDs. And it's like, why the because like at that point, when you're having like hundreds of partners, then it's like your whole life is dedicated to sex. That is an issue. But like, I don't know, being sexual, there's nothing fucking wrong with that. You can sleep around a little bit. Who cares? It's not gonna hurt anybody. It's not gonna hurt you as long as you're. To me personally, as long as you're sleeping with people that you trust and that you at least know, and you're not fucking spreading your legs on open for some fucking lunatic that you don't even care about. Yeah, that is an issue. But I don't know. Friends of benefits based, I guess. However, the thing is, when it comes to like women, like having like hundreds of partners, a lot of that, a lot of that thing is like very anecdotal because I, I don't think there are very many women that are doing that. It's like a 1 in a million type of thing. And this whole women doing what men do thing is just fucking insane, ape-minded, simplified version of what's going on here. For the longest time, men have been glorifying the highest body count on campus. Meanwhile, Becky gets obliterated for and bashed by men, and mostly by other women for having a similar body count. This whole thing, like women doing what men can do, is basically a response to the shitty double standard women have been subjected to for hundreds of years, to be honest with you. Because this type of thing goes back way back then. And this was because just white men dominated society, basically. And that's what and these are the types of values and beliefs that they believed in. Women are supposed to be pure, and men can do whatever the fuck they want to because they're men. Hey, women do what men can do. This whole that rhetoric, quote unquote, women doing what men can do, it further lends credence to the idea that sexual deviancy is a boys' club. And you personally might not think this, but that's definitely the message you're giving when you say that.
I won't go all the way into it today, but I'll just say this, right? If a lock doesn't work, right? That's a crappy lock. If a key can open up any lock, that's called the master key. Just understand the difference that we got here, right?
I uh, called me ignorant, but the fuck is that analogy? What does that have to do with anything? Maybe I'm just fucking tiny braining this the fuck out of it, but I really don't know what the hell this analogy is supposed to say. I've never heard that before, but all right, let's go.
Anyway, I digress. This movement kept going, kept going, right? And I'd say around the 90s is when I'd say things reached a head for the feminist movement, right? And at that point, they had virtually all of the things that they were fighting for. This is just my take on it. Maybe you guys are more intelligent on this.
Virtually. I'm glad you fit that word in there. Virtually, not entirely. Virtually.
Subject than I am, more knowledgeable on the subject than I am, and
oh yeah, there are plenty of people more knowledgeable on this subject than you are, my friend. And that demographic is called women. Not me.
Like maybe there were still some more things that needed to be fought for, but I'd argue that it was nowhere near the level that it was in the 60s, right? We definitely made.
I agree. Nowhere near as it was in the 60s, but we're still not at equality just yet.
Leaps and bounds since then, right? So I don't see what more there was to fight for after the 90s, but hey, feminist movement continues.
Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not there. One of the major things that's making it hard for you to see this shit is the fact that you're a man. Personally, I can't really see all of it. I can see some of it, but I can't see all of it. Me as a man, I can't really fucking see everything that women are dealing with right now. But hey, there are some things that I've seen and I can acknowledge.
At that point, right, what you have to realize is you have equal opportunity at this point, right? Women can now, it's not illegal for women to go into whatever line of work they so choose.
Which is a good thing.
Still a little bit frowned on, right?
Yeah, a little bit,
certain categories.
Yep.
However, United States social system does adjust over time, right? It's a new thing.
Yes.
It's a shock to the system.
Yes, and it is. And the thing that'll make it easier to get to equality is if we work within our social areas to push forward towards that goal. We have to be active about it. We have to advocate for it. We have to promote it in order for it to be achieved. It has to be encouraged. Otherwise, it's just going to be stagnant. And that's the problem. For the longest time, and still now, we're kind of in a stagnant position when we need to push just a little bit further.
After some time passes, everything will be all gravy again. People will adjust and understand, hey, they're here to stay. This isn't just, a passing fad or anything like that, right? All right.
Cool.
Feminist movement up until the 2000s now, right? What they're now fighting for isn't just equality, because they have that now.
No. This literally goes against the stuff that you were saying earlier. They really don't have that now. And you acknowledge that there are still some things that need to be addressed socially. And there are quite a few things, like, in a political, legal arenas that need to be addressed. But they really don't fully have that now. Like, I'm really glad that you said that some good people are knowledgeable on the subject, because I am just a little bit, because I can acknowledge that there are some things that, women are still being oppressed a little bit. Not as much as back then, like you said, but there are still some ridiculous social beauty standards. Like, there's some workplace harassments and other shit that we have to get out of the way before we can officially say that they have that now. The patriarchy still exists, Maybe not systemically like before, but definitely socially. Definitely. And we need to encourage it to be eradicated.
Have equality in the workplace, right? Except for a few places like the military. You can't be combat arms and a female. But that also changed.
Yep, good.
Later, I believe around 2015, if I'm not mistaken, that changed.
God damn, it took us. See, you see, it took that long for us to get to that point. That's 2015, my dude. That should tell you something right there, that we're still not there yet. I can't believe I missed this part when I first watched the video. It completely goes against what you were saying previously. Dude, they don't have it now, and you know that because you said that we couldn't even achieve this shit until 2015. My guy.
Don't know why the hell someone would fight for the right to sign up for that job, but hey, do whatever you feel, man. And now what you're getting to is a place where you're not just fighting for equality, you're fighting for more rights than the other party has at this stage, I believe, right? Not necessarily that's what they're.
What do you mean they're fighting for more rights? What is your evidence of this? Like, do you have like an anecdote or something at least that suggests that they are fighting for more rights? Oh wait, are you talking about that vocal minority that had like the shitty man-hating dog shit takes on Twitter? Trust me, like I said, their voices are fucking meaningless. Like Dave Chappelle himself said, Twitter is not a real place. So, like, what else? Do you mean like alimony? The only like quote unquote benefit women get from the patriarchy because women are quote unquote better caregivers? Or are you talking about Roe v. Wade? Look, all right, I'm gonna make something very clear, and my lefty friends are gonna fucking obliterate me for this. I am not in favor of abortion. But the fact of the matter is, with where we are now, it's not going anywhere. And even if that becomes illegal, to me, it'll only make things worse. And we see that with the fucking Texas laws. Jesus Christ, those Texas laws. All right, I'm going to shut up about abortion because I don't know what your stance is on it. So I'm going to shut the fuck up before I start attacking a straw man, which I do not want to do. I don't want to misrepresent you, my dude.
Your goals are, but that's what's left to fight for, right? You have this movement, you have this gust of wind behind you. Pretty much all that's left to do is, all right, we got to keep pushing and fight to take some of their stuff away, right? Because after you have equality, that's the only direction to go.
But we don't have equality. And sure, there are some people that are like talking about being above man and all this stupid shit. But where does that come from? It comes from the shit that they've been put through all this time. This whole shitty Twitter mindset doesn't just come from nowhere. It's gotta stem from something. Like, I don't like the way these fucking Twitter idiots behave online. Lord Jesus, I got blocked by some stupid bitch on Twitter because she wanted me so desperately to admit that men are inherently bad or just rapey or some stupid shit. Fuck people like that. They're irrelevant. They mean nothing.
You're still fighting for something. Same thing with the LGBT community, right? That reached prominence, I'd say, somewhere around 2011, 2012, somewhere around that time frame, right? Don't Ask, Don't Tell got repealed in the military. That's no longer a thing, right? You're free to be whatever sexuality you want now.
Which is good.
Well,
wait a minute.
Don't Tell got repealed. That reached prominence, I'd say, somewhere around 2011, 2012.
2011, 2012. Yeah. Pretty long time ago, but it's still not, it's within my lifetime still. So it's not that long ago. The fact that it took us this long to get to that point should tell you something, my friend.
Somewhere around that time frame, right? Don't Ask, Don't Tell got repealed in the military. That's no longer a thing, right? You're free to be whatever sexuality you want now in the workplace.
Good.
Well, here's the problem with a lot of this, right? There's all this talk of toxic masculinity, this, that, and the third. And now it's not just frowned upon for men to have their normal locker room talk in the workplace, right? It's
Whoa, wait, what?
punishable.
Go on.
It's a punishable offense. However, no one's gonna
Wait.
bat an eye if a female or a member of the LGBT community decides to, have some locker room banter. That's gonna be all well and good.
Hold on. When you say locker room talk, what the fuck do you mean? Like, literally, this all depends on your definition of locker room talk. On one hand, we have banter where men are talking about their body count and boobs, tits and ass, and all that nice juicy stuff, nice wet pussy. Yeah. On the other hand, dudes are talking about sexually harassing their coworkers, classmates, or just simply talking about like borderline sexual harassment, or or they could just simply be talking about like sexually about their coworkers or classmates or some shit like, God damn, Becky's got a fucking nice ass, shit like that. Look, talking sexually about your coworkers or classmates is fine, personally, as long as it's not in their vicinity. I mean, keep that shit private. Make sure nobody hears that. Keep that in the fucking locker room away from anybody that would be offended by what you're saying. I mean, that's the point of locker room talk, right? So, but if you're talking about rapey shit, let's be real. It is actually dangerous because the more comfortable you feel talking about sexual harassment, the more comfortable you are with actually doing it. And that should be looked down upon. Locker room talk can refer to a multitude of subjects. It's not as simple as you think it is. Holy shit, this fucking fly. There's nuance to these subjects, dude, and you have to be aware of that shit. At least, you have to be aware of what you're talking about, lest you lend credence to some like really disgusting things. Because locker room talk is a very broad term, very broad. Now, okay, when you talk about punishment, what do you mean by that? Are they being fired? Are they being canceled on Twitter? What? Because in either of these scenarios, like sexual harassment or just like talking about tits and ass, I only have one thing to say to that. Man the fuck up. All I hear is bitching and whining when you bring that shit up, literally. If you get fired for locker room talk, man the fuck up and move to a new job, okay? I'm getting sick of hearing supposed manly men complaining about cancellation and firings over literal juvenile childish behavior, because that's exactly what locker room talk is. It's childish. I thought we were promoting manliness here, not 12-year-old behavior. Instead of complaining about consequences of this shit, maybe promote more mature manly behavior and manly conversations, like actual mature talks and conversations, please. All right, rant's over. I'm done.
No matter how much it offends someone else, they'll glaze over it because no one in their right mind wants that kind of smoke. And that's just astounding to me how over 90% of the population is yielding, bending the knee, and making all these damn accommodations for what, 1% of the population? Mind.
What? Not gonna lie to you, my friend. I had to say it, but progressive ideologies are very incredibly popular. What do you mean by 1% of the population? I don't understand what you mean by that. Like, if you could provide an example at least, please, because I have nothing to cling to when you say this stuff. 90% bending the knee to 1% of the population. Sure, maybe there is some of that somewhere. I mean, maybe I've seen it a lot, but maybe I just misinterpreting it because I used to think like you back then, so I don't know. I have to go back to those things to look at it, but I don't even know what you could be referring to. Please, like, at least provide an example of this stuff, because otherwise it's just, you look like an idiot. You look like you're just saying stuff and just making shit up. You gotta back it up, man.
Blown, man. I do not get it. Don't get it. What I do understand from all of this, though, is that at some point, the feminist movement and the LGBT movement had a merger. Right?
Okay.
And that merger led to pretty much a bigger attack on what it means to be a man. You see, you have to diminish what it means to be a man in order to replace masculinity with femininity, right? So you take
what? How? Wait. How? Masculinity is not getting replaced. All it is just more femininity is being welcome. That's it. It's that simple. Masculinity is not going anywhere. Literally, I know people that are like literally the manliest, most masculine motherfuckers on the planet, and they are killing it, living their best lives, thriving, etc. If they ever get criticized or berated for being who they are, you know what they do? You know what they do, dipshit? They brush it off and move on. Why? Because they're real men. They don't give a fuck about what other people think.
away small things first, right?
Hell, you know what? Actually, I just thought about something. Masculinity is actually being praised. Honestly. Fucking look at Omni-Man and his fan base. Look at the fucking mediocre B movies, these fucking action movies that are getting putting out that Hollywood keeps throwing Bruce Willis in. Look at Chris Hemsworth. Look at Michael B. Jordan. Look at Dwayne the motherfucking Rock Johnson. People love and adore that dude. People love and adore Chris Hemsworth and Michael B. Jordan. People love manliness. It's not going anywhere. It's what do you mean that is being discouraged?
Starts. All right. Men can wear dresses. No. Boys should be able to play with baby dolls. Hey, I take my son to get his nails done. Like, what the hell are you talking about, right? Different shit like that.
These are all social constructs, my dude. Literally, none of these things make you more or less masculine. Masculinity is literally just a primal thing. Dolls, dresses, painted nails are literally all modern things socially prescribed to femininity. That's it. They were inventions created by humans. Literally, I was criticized by a family member once for calling something cute because quote unquote cute is a girl's word. Literally, that's the level we're at. And on the dress thing, a kilt can be considered a dress. Like, it's all a bunch of cultural constructs. Like, there's a lot you can go back ages and people wore things that we wouldn't wear now in modern society. It's all social. It's literally all it is. They're inventions. We made it up. We made all of it up. They're not real.
And it continues to snowball. And if you don't accept these ideas, well, you're the nut job, not anyone else. You're screwed up in the head. Crazy, bro. But hey, that's the world we're living in right now, right? And the reason for this is there's a certain level of femininity, hyper femininity, I'd say, that has to accompany something like the LGBT community. Because believe it or not, LGBT community is actually heavily male dominated. Once again,
I mean, maybe, I guess.
Respect to,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Population out there, right? But you have to admit there is a certain level of femininity that comes along with being a gay man, transgender, male to female person, right?
All right. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Let me let you in a little secret, my friend. There is nothing more masculine and heavy in testosterone than two big buff dudes fucking boning each other in the ass. And when you talk about transgender men can be incredibly masculine, extremely. I've seen it. I know that. And transgender women, they literally aren't masculine because they're women. This isn't an argument. I'm sorry to say that, but welcome to 2021. I was about to say 2020. Shit. Yeah. Trans women or women. That's it. Just you gotta accept it, man.
certain level of hyper femininity that's inserted in there. No disrespect, that's just how it is. Also for the feminist movement, right? You now see heavily female dominated workforces, right?
That's
There's
fine.
certain jobs that are just heavily female dominated, and
Cool.
it's not just child rearing anymore. It's not just cooking. Do I think that's a bad thing?
Nope.
Hell no. Have at it. I believe that's something that we've always needed. However,
Glad you got something right.
Is whenever we start to make attacks on things that don't need to be attacked, things that are actually good things that aren't bad in nature. Yeah, that's where I draw the line. All right. Fast forward.
Wait. Attacking things that are good in nature. Okay. I'm pretty sure you're referring to masculinity. Like I said, masculinity is not being attacked. Again, it's just welcoming more femininity and more diversity. Like that's it. And we're at the same time, we're also welcoming more masculine women at the same time. Like, fucking fit girls with abs are hot as fuck. And also, just fucking look at Gina Carano. Nobody's got a problem with her. She's fucking killing it. You're not gonna point to her at all. How feminine is she?
Right now, you have gender barriers being broken down. Right. All right. Well, transgender males or male to female transgenders should be able to compete against women. No, sir. Right? And yeah, I mean that's pretty much how those two movements have started to kind of.
Hold on, I can't believe I just ignored that last part. Let's do our voice card. No more voice card.
That's where I draw the line. All right. Fast forward, right? Now you have gender barriers being broken down, right? All
okay.
Right, so, transgender males or male to female transgender.
Ooh, you got pretty close to misgendering there, dude. Oh boy.
Able to compete against women.
What? Wait.
No, sir. Right?
What? Okay. Maybe we should promote puberty blockers to avoid the issue altogether of trans women dominating track and field because they grew up with literally the wrong puberty. Besides, the woman I know you're referring to, like, they can literally get beat out by a much bigger bodybuilding cis woman. Those do exist. You know they exist.
And yeah, I mean that's pretty much how those two movements have started to kind of infringe on what it means to be a man, right? Because you have to diminish what it actually means to be a man, and lead with this talking point of being a man can be whatever you want it to look like in order to make room for femininity to take that next leap, right? And I do believe that we're headed towards a matriarchal society.
What?
Is what it is. Some people are gonna argue, why is that a bad thing? I never said it's a bad thing.
Okay, wait. What? Like, this is literally some conspiracy theory level shit, my dude. Literally, there is nothing suggesting the possibility of a matriarchal takeover, which I'm gonna say right now, I would not want. I don't think I want a matriarchal takeover. I don't want a patriarchal takeover. I don't like either or. But literally, there's nothing suggesting that. And the only evidence you have of that are cringy shitheads screaming on Twitter and the LGBTQ movement, which is just making femininity more welcome and acceptable in society. That's it.
That's where we're headed, right? Next thing that really is starting to shroud what it means to be a man and ambiguity would be the advent of a lot of technology that we have in the U.S. In the U.S., we're definitely a first world country, and we're privileged to have many things that we do have, right? Even labor-intensive jobs or jobs that were once heavily labor-intensive
True.
are no longer fraught with copious amounts of manual labor,
Well,
right?
yeah, yeah.
We now have machinery,
True,
factories,
true,
heavily robotic, right? You can
true.
show up to a factory job now in a suit, believe it or not. In some jobs, right? Not everywhere,
Yeah, I
but a lot
guess.
of them you can. And yeah, I mean that started to really diminish what it means to be a man because you're taking away one of the things that men were always historically good for.
Yeah. Well, originally I would argue like who's building these things that would require some like manual labor, but then again we're building things to build the things, literally, like you said about the factory jobs. I don't know, it's an interesting thing. You know, I mean, this one actually kind of makes sense, but I go a little further than that. It just doesn't diminish manhood, it just diminishes manual labor in general. And I don't know, with technology continuing to progress and get more advanced, it's just, I don't know, where are we heading with that? Will manual labor even be a thing anymore? That's a good question. You know, not really a bad take, but it's less just on demand. It's just more about manual labor. Not nah. I kind of agree with you on that one.
So, with all of this said, what does it mean to be a man in 2021? Well, point blank and simple, same thing as I always meant, man. Men are the protectors, men are the providers, men are the builders, right? We've always
Oh, bro, this is some ooga booga meathead ape shit right here, dog. This is literally what fucks up today's men and why suicide rates for men are so high. Because literally, you're socially prescribing us to fit into these categories that not every man can fit into, leaving us literally no room for open self expression. A man is considered undesirable by women and even criticized by other men if he doesn't meet all three of those expectations. That type of rhetoric makes us feel like we're less of a man because of it. A man can be the protector, provider, and the builder, okay? A woman can be the protector, provider, and the builder. A man can just be the protector and the provider. A woman can just be the builder. A man can be the builder, or a woman can be the provider and the protector. It's called diversity. You be wise to learn it. It's not as simple as you think it is. Human beings are inherently diverse creatures.
been those things. The landscape looks a little bit different in 2021, but you got to keep all that in mind and remember what it really means to be a man, right? That's what it means, man. That's what it means. So you have to go out there and apply those three things just in different ways now because of this.
I kind of agree with that. You can apply those things in different ways. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, again, like I said, if you can't do all three of those things, you shouldn't be looked down upon for it. And unfortunately, a lot of people are. So, okay.
This advent of technology, right? And if you're like me, right, you're gonna say screw all of these movements. I will follow the
Hell
law.
yeah.
I will treat everyone with dignity.
Hell yeah.
However, I will not bend the knee, throw caution to the wind, go out of my way to, make everyone else feel comfortable at the risk of my own sanity.
Strong. No, I agree with that. That's a good thing. You don't have to bend the knee for anybody else. You do you, my guy. Stand your ground, bro. For real. I'm not being ironic here. I'm not being sarcastic. Stand your ground. Stand for what you believe in. That's it. And if people berate you for it, you receive consequences for standing your ground on what you believe in. Take it like a man, my dude. That's what happens. Cancel culture, consequence culture. That's it. But hey, stand your ground. Literally, I'm not being ironic. Stand your ground.
Can't do it, man. Can't do it. I can't throw my own satiety, my own sanity out the window.
Good.
For some ridiculous request, man.
Good.
Or something frivolous. Because that's what a lot of this stuff boils down to, man. Is a lot of this shit is just frivolous. It's selfish, it's frivolous, and it's unnecessary, man.
All right, selfishness is not inherently wrong. It only becomes wrong when your selfishness trumps your empathy for another human being or causes direct harm to that human being. Like, all of what you were talking about is not as destructive as you're making it out to be.
So that's my take on it, man. If you feel differently than me, feel free to voice your opinion. Hey,
Thank you.
Even reply to it.
Hey, thank you. Please reply to my video. Hey, that's why I'm making this video in the first place.
Hey, but I appreciate your viewership. If you thought this video was insightful, made you think about some stuff,
very insightful.
Like that,
I thought a lot.
Like,
I will actually, you know, I unironically will drop a like.
Subscribe, press that bell notification.
There you go.
So you get all of my future videos. Once again, hey, it costs you nothing, and to you it's probably very small, but I swear, man, to me it'll mean the world.
Oh boy, yeah. I hope you get the audio fixed, because the contrast with the audio is so bad. Hey, it's your first video. I can't really fucking shit on you for that. So, you know, hey, you're doing well for yourself, actually. Good production, good outro, good intro, everything. Nice. I think some of your takes are pretty shit. But hey, that's free speech, freedom of thought, freedom of expression. Welcome to America. So yeah, you're free to put this out, and I'm free to criticize it. So hey, if you make a response video or not, I don't care. Whatever. It is what it is. Just hope you know, see this and, you know, just forge your life. I don't know. I don't care. Yeah, that was it. That was my criticism of How To Man's literally his first video ever. Should I be charitable and plug his channel in here? I don't know. I'll think about it. Probably. But yeah. You have a good one. You stay safe. Everybody, love you. Love you deeply. Care about you deeply. Live the American dream. And don't bend the knee to nobody.